has reused some of Soundwave's parts, along with some other new parts, and has reconstructed another Soundwave and renamed him New Soundwave.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the Robot Paradise Fans Toys Acoustic Wave RP-02. This is their repaint, reversion into a Soundblaster, and they have Ratbat or Ratbat? Ratbat. Anyway, this is a nice looking figure. Is it really worth like $200 to just get a Ratbat? Or is it worth the money because it's a great figure? We'll talk about this. But I did get this at Showzy. I'm going to have a link down below where you can get yours. And remember, put in TH reviewer code. It would help me out. But let's go and take a look at RP-02 Acoustic Wave repaint into New Soundwave coming up. Alright, so here he is outside of the package. And let's get a full body view of him. So he's packaged like this for safe transport, I guess. I'm not 100% sure why they do all of this. I'm gonna zoom in now a little bit more on this guy. So first thing you want to do is fold this area down, get the arms a little bit out of the way. If you just pull up on this, this will give it a little push to be able to get your fingers under here and get that going like so. Come around to the back. Now mine came with this tabbed in, so you can kind of lift this stuff here up out of the way, make sure that that tab is not tabbed in, or else it's not going to slide up, of course. And then kind of get the hips out of the way, and then we're going to slide him up, and then we're going to rotate him around. All right, so once you got him rotated around, you kind of leave the whole torso in this up position. So this needs to come down and tab in, and then tab back down here on the bottom. Fold the hip flaps down, and we're going to fold these up, and then this is going to flip around and then go to form the back. Close this up, and we more or less got him there. We do need to add on his basic accessories, so we're going to, is this the one? Plug this one in. Yeah, that's plugged in. And we have his gun, which we can do some stuff with and plug that in. It's been a while since I've messed around with the old Soundwave, and now that we've got new Soundwave, we've got new stuff to do with him. But I'll get it plugged in and we'll take a look at him. Alright, so here is Soundblaster all put together out of the box, and I want to say that the mold is just an amazing mold, and I didn't think, hey, I don't need a Soundblaster, I don't need a new Soundwave. Soundwave, it's new Soundwave. I think, though, he looks fantastic. The color scheme, the different color scheme is kind of fun after looking at the blue for so long. I still prefer the blue, of course, because that's what I had back in the day and what we saw in the cartoon and all that kind of stuff. But it's still, this looks fantastic overall. Feels very quality. And if you like the mold, of course, you're going to like this figure. But yeah, let's get into look at him a little bit deeper, do a few more things with this guy, because very good mold, just in kind of a charcoal color. I'm going to go ahead and get into the articulation because I think that's what, we'll do that next. Then we're going to get into Ratbat and then comparisons and those things. But his head, side to side, up and down, get quite a bit up if you need it, or you can just get up like that. Shoulder there, 360, very nice, clickety-clickety ratchets. Bicep swivel, double joint, almost double jointed elbow. It's a single joint past the 90, but it works. Fingers all work pretty good. They don't splay, but they feel really nice. And they got two points of articulation per finger, and feel really solid. So that's always a good thing. Waist swivel like this. Ab crunch slightly. You got to kind of untab that thing, and it goes to the back too. So more to the back than to the front on the ab crunch. So it's a very slight ab crunch. And then getting these old school hip flaps out of the way. These 2012 hip flaps that have going on. So, that was when they originally started with this figure. It was 2012. And I don't know what I got going on with that one. All right, up to about here, front to about there, back to as far as you want to go if you want to disconnect that backpack and stuff, but not a big deal. Well, not a big deal until you start moving things out of the way. All right, thigh swivel, not a double joint, but a lot going on with that knee, and then you do have a moving kneecap with it, and then foot up and down. Mostly just the toe, but it gets the job done. So moving back a little bit, and here is the rat trap, and it has a beautiful vac metallized gold on it. Great paint all over, like Fans Toys always does. Magnificent. And of course, if you wanted to, and I'm not going to put it all the way in. I'm not sticking it all the way in on this one, but pop open that, and you can put the figure in. You can put it in there, and then you can close it up. And I believe, is this one where you can put 2 in? I can't even remember now if you can put multiples in. I don't put multiples in, but anyway, you're going to cram them in this little deck here. I just don't want to scratch the vac metal. That's my problem, so I'm not going to go all the way with that situation. But let's get back to the Ratbat at hand. Back to the lecture at hand here. Okay, here we go. Now, as a cassette, it looks okay. It's fine. It's not plagued with the cassette rings and all the cassette kind of paint that we've seen in the past. But with all of that, we can get into doing a few more things with this. Spreading this up, then lifting these up, and then from here we're going to do a few things. We need to get this head out of here. So let's get the wings completely out of the way. Let's get this head up here out. And then there it goes. And it's going to fold up and over. Put those tabs together so this folds through. And then we can have his head there. So that's cool. And then we're going to move these back pieces. We're going to rotate them around. Let's get this flap here up. I guess we should do that before. Fold this around. Let's get this flap up. Fold this around. Now this is his backpack, and we'll get the thrusters out. But first I think we should go for the feet. So let's get the feet out. The feet. And then we're going to lift this up, and we're going to pull out the thrusters without scratching any of your vag metal. That would suck. And honestly, this Ratbat is the star of the show. Let's untab this and untab this. Flip this piece here up. The Ratbat's the star of the show here in all reality, but because I mean, most people would pass on just buying the same figure repainted into a charcoal color scheme. But there we go. We have the Ratbat. Now, my understanding is people are 3D printing holders for it so you can plug into here and then connect it to the back of Soundwave. Now, I don't have said connector, so I just can put him right here. You might want to lift that up just a bit, get him a little more flatter. But he can just stand on there like that. What I'm going to do is what I've been doing, and I have Devastator holding him. So he's just Devastator's little pet in my display because he just doesn't... The Takara one didn't stand hardly at all. This thing actually holds its own for standing if you really want it to stand. And it just, especially with those wings, it just kind of grips onto stuff too. So that works. That's okay. That'll work. No real attachments for him for gripping purposes, but you could have him, let's see, you want to do this and that, and he would just hang on there. He'll be fine, but that little tab will probably just be just enough resistance to help him from sliding too much. Well, until I say that, and then it's a problem. But yeah, you could have him on there if you want to, however you want to display it. but it doesn't actually tab in. So you're talking, make sure it's on level surface, everything's level, and it'll hold on fine. My biggest concern on a shelf dive with this guy, of course, is that beautiful, beautiful vac metal look to it that's going on right there, because that is fantastic. We can put these pieces up a bit too, if that's the way you want it to look. Put those pieces up. It's also a thing. Yeah, pretty cool figure overall. And do I like it better than Takara? Well, let's take a look at that. All right, so this is Takara on the right, and as you can see, it's plagued with tape cassette paint in this mode, which is just accepted kind of from back in the day, but this one doesn't have that, so it does look more Ratbat-y, Ratbat-ish. And size-wise, not much difference in size. Takara does feel smaller, way lighter, because Takara's way lighter because it doesn't have any die-cast. And this feels more premium and painted and all that good stuff. And yeah, looks like it's pretty much painted head to toe. Much, much better job. Even though I don't really see, if you have like a Takara one and you're like, well, I don't want to spend $200 on just to get this figure, I can see that. I could definitely understand that. That's something to consider. Maybe buy someone's old Takara one now that they got their fans toys. That's a possibility too. But anyway, the Takara is not horrible, but fans toys blows it out of the water. And here's Ratbat next to some more of the fans toys Cassetticons, whatever you want to call them. Anyway, they look quite nice. All of them look premium. Still, I kind of prefer the size of the MMC for most of them, but not all. And I gotta say, I wouldn't want a Ratbat the size of their birds. Just saying, I don't want an MMC ginormous Ratbat. It wouldn't do me any good. I think this is a good size for a Ratbat. So I'm always reluctant to changing out these parts for the toy look. Now I've already done the left side, and so we'll just do the right side. Technically I did the right side if you are actually Soundwave. But anyway, we're looking at it from that perspective. Open that up and then disconnect this and then plug this one in, and styrofoam on the finger. Styrofoam on the finger syndrome. Alright, let's roll down here and get this. Open that up. Pop this out. Pop this in. Which I believe you put the little arrow to the top. I might be wrong on that. That might be the wrong way to go on that little arrow there. That's how I'm rocking with it anyway. We're going to pull the kneecap off. Put the new kneecap on. Which, I could have put those on the wrong way too. I think I did get these mixed up. I sure did. Or did I? I feel like the line should be at the top. Nope, had it right the whole time. Okay, cool. So. Alright, put this back into place. And fold the foot. So this untabs, the foot folds down, this pops off, and then this pops on like so. And we're not done yet though. We're not done yet. We still have some parts, lots of parts. We got these side pieces here. This is gonna go on like so. And then this is going to tab down here to give it more thicker toy looking legs, which even if I'm going to display it with the toy stuff on, which I might, I would probably not include those. So that's just me. It is me. And then scrolling up, we got one last thing, the head. And getting this off is a little tricky. There's several tabs in it. Good thing you can lift the head up nice and high. And I'm afraid of scratching that wonderful paint just to get the head off. Let me work on that a second here. So I was a little more successful getting my finger underneath the head and then wiggling it off. and then probably be successful putting the head back on the same way to have that same pressure on there. There we go. We have toy Soundwave. There's also this, which I do not mess with these. I'm not messing with these. There's that. And one more accessory, so we can just wrap up some accessories and get into comparisons, and that is the cube, the Scratch Your Chrome cube. And there it is. It doesn't stay on well, but probably set it down and it fall off. But there's the cube if you're into all that. All right, so here he is. Oh, I got to go much further back than that. With Soundwave and, well, Acoustic Wave. There they are, side by side. And it's one of those things, I literally just wanted this for the Ratbat, but I really like this figure. It looks really good. It's one that's a nice contrast to what's an already amazing figure over here, and the best Soundwave on the market in my opinion. But yeah, it's a definitely looks good. Nice comparison and bit of a contrast now. Like just looking at them, they look way different with just the recolor. Here's the Magic Square Optimus Prime. So you can get the idea, the look. And, yeah, that's how he looks next to Optimus Prime. And then I'm going to go ahead and swap out with Megatron. I don't have the Galvatron handy, but Megatron, you got to have him next to a baddie. The baddies of all baddies. And, of course, Megatron, MP36, still really the reigning king of Masterpiece Megatrons until Magic Square decides they're going to step up and give us a Megatron. You know, what's up, Magic Square? You just do Optimus Primes. That's it. But great looking figure. Fits in really well. Of course, in the continuity, of course, he's with Galvatron. All right, here he is in his alt mode. And I didn't want to show transformation because I want to keep this as short as I can. I don't want this to be like a 30-minute video just for Soundblaster for a repaint. But it does look pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like I remembered it. So I did something different this time. I had it with the toy stuff on it, so I completely transformed it with the toy stuff on it, and really not a big difference. But I did have a problem where I felt like the head's just a little bit too big to fit through there to fold in. I was having a little trouble with that, and I didn't want to push it too hard, so I just popped the face off. So he's in there with no face. So a standard head probably would have worked just fine, but it's a pretty solid mode overall. And yeah, these are the leg pieces, which I guess I can show that. Real simple though, if you transform it with a toy and you want the leg pieces. Well, everything's simple till you do it on the other side of the camera, but all right, let's get this back in place. But if you have these parts on them, I mean, theoretically all you're really doing with these is you're flipping this around and then you're folding this in so it'll just tab in, just like on that side. And so that's how I did it. And anyway, all the toy pieces on there, like toy shoulder pieces. So everything else is fine for the transformation. Even the little silver pieces, you can see them sticking through right there. There's the camera picking up that silver. The silver shins are fine. The knee pads are fine. So everything was just fine to transform it with the toy parts on. So I figured you got to do something different than you did last time. Last time I had the transformation for the last time. All the steps are the same. This does pop open. You can put a cassette in there. I'm not putting him, like I said, I'm not transferring back. I'm not risking chrome damage and even putting him in there all the way. So it doesn't bother me, but yeah, there it is. Looking pretty good overall. Heavy, nice heavy brick, nice detail. And you know, another difference I showed in the comparison, but I didn't really show so much, is that instead of like a charcoal or we call it smoke kind of color for that, it's red for that piece. But yeah, no, this is the only working button on it. Still looks pretty good. And can this guy, yeah, he can sit right there. There we go. There's a Ratbat spot. Now, instead I didn't care for the Takara one, I actually sold my Takara one because I just didn't really care for the character. And this is actually a KO. $13. Bought in like 2014 or 13 or whenever this came out. Like right when it came out, the KO popped up shortly after, but here's how it looks from the back. So I want to say Takara's is skinnier. It's much thinner, and the way you store the batteries, they're hanging off the back. Batteries are stored in this compartment here. Batteries, aka the gun and the shoulder cannon, but they do things different. Longer. It's longer and skinnier, the Takara one, and which again, this is just the Soundwave because I don't have the Soundblaster version, and you could not have this kibble here on it. I just left the kibble on it because I'm gonna probably display this with toy stuff on it because it does look kind of cool, and I like different. I like things to be a little bit different instead of everything just being exactly the same. Which, you know, I'm even the guy that has different company seekers and cone heads and stuff and fine with it. But anyhow, there it is next to the Takara. Here it is next to Takara without the ta. It's Akara. That's MMC. MMC Sphinx. This is Fans Toys' second attempt at a sea spray. And then this is X-Transbot's second attempt at making this same exact figure. So, I don't know. I figured I had to compare it to something else. And there you go. Alright, so this is my look at the Fans Toys RP-02 Acoustic Wave repaint into new Soundwave. And I have to admit, it looks really good. I am quite impressed with how it came out. In all reality, when I went into this review, I was just thinking, I'm going to have to go through the motions just so I can have the Ratbat, and I'll review the figure too along the way. Ratbat is the star of this, but the figure itself turned out quite nicely, and I have to admit that I didn't even care for the Takara repaint one at all, but this one looks pretty good. Anyway, I did get this at Shozi. I will have a link down below where you can get yours, and yes, I admit it does kind of suck if all you want is Ratbat. You got to buy the whole thing, but Takara started it, so I guess you can blame Takara. Oh, I guess you can still blame Fans Toys anyway. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Teddy Hanger out.
Billy of the Autobots and the Decepticons' intelligence officer Soundwave were both killed in a battle. You're back with us today. Is that we've got a new mission for you, new Soundwave, and there's no room for error, you understand?
Yes, sir, I'm at your service.
Come out, Soundwave, I know you're there.
It's you, Blaster, so here we meet again.
Yes, quite right. And we can continue where we left off last time.
What happened to you?